And that has completely transformed my business. I finally understood that I was working so much in my business that I wasn't working on my business. And I've never owned a business before. I've never ran a business. So being with people that are in the same boat as me, right? Or that are more advanced in their business ownership than me has been an incredible gift. I have learned so much.
Welcome to Working Women Mentor, a podcast that empowers everyday women like you, like me, to share and learn from life's mentor moments. I am your host, Rani Alfers, and in each episode, you will meet inspiring women that understand the power of recognizing mentor moments and how those moments can change it all. These fabulous women are here and ready to share it all with you. So let's dive in. Hey everyone, today you're going to meet Ashley Richards. She is our guest sharing mentor moments, and Ashley is the founder and CEO of E2 Marketing. She is a marketing executive, and she has built a company and surrounded herself with all women, all amazing women, and is growing across the country. She has an approach internally that values mentorship in the workplace, that values balance, and believes that women really can have it all, or they can have what they want. So listen in on these tips, this advice, these nuggets she's sharing with us today on what really a workplace could look and feel like around you, what it looks and feels like to her, and why mentorship is so important. Let's meet Ashley. Ashley, thank you so much for joining our Working Women Mentor podcast today. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, Ashley, I am so thankful that you're here today because you have built a company, you believe in mentorship, you have so many things to share, I believe, with everyone listening. So tell us a little bit about your story and where you've come from.
Yeah, I'd love to. I am a working mom, and so not even just working women, but taking another dynamic step of being a mother as well. I live in Arizona. I'm a third generation native here. And I tell you, ever since I was a kid, I've always had this spirit in me that I wanted to be my own boss. That's always been a part of my life. And I finally had the opportunity to do that. So my background and my degree is all in marketing. I've been in marketing for 15 years. And 6.5 years ago, I found myself in this crossroads in life where I had my firstborn child. I had my daughter, and I was at home with her on my maternity leave. And I was faced with this challenging question of, am I going to go back to work full time, or am I going to be a stay-at-home mom? And I remember really battling over this because I felt so strongly that I wanted to do both. I wanted to work. I feel fulfilled and I love what I do, but obviously I've got this new life, right? And I need to be there for her. And so I struggled with this for my entire maternity leave. And I finally chose to do both. I felt I wanted to do both. And so I quit my job and I started doing consulting work on the side. I got pregnant with my son. They were 17 months apart. So I had 2 babies and a business. And it was a whirlwind time in my life, but man, I wouldn't change it for the world because it allowed me to build this infrastructure that's really honing in on the value of the working woman and the working mom. And so I take a lot of pride in being able to develop this type of infrastructure and making it available to women and moms that would like the best of both worlds as well.
Well, and I love what you say that I decided to do both. You make it sound so simple. It's not that you're balanced, or it's just that you still wanted both, and you went after it. So, I mean, we usually want a lot, right? And the fact that you decided I don't have to give one up is incredible.
Thank you. Yeah. And the beauty of what we do, we primarily focus on digital marketing efforts. So social media, e-blast, influencer partnerships, everything that's online. And the beauty of that is that industry never sleeps and doesn't work 8 to 5. So us as an agency, we don't work 8 to 5 either. We work nights, we work weekends. We're able to squeeze in a lot of our work that really accommodates the lifestyle as a working mother. So we really do get the ability to have the best of both worlds. Of course, it took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get where we are today. But man, it feels good to have that mentorship opportunity for these women.
Your firm is all women. You believe in elevating them professionally, right? And what does mentorship look like within your business?
I do, and when I started this business, I like I mentioned earlier, I absolutely love marketing. I love getting creative and really delivering these digital results for our clients. But what I didn't know was how much love I would have for mentoring other women and other moms. Some women on our team were stay-at-home moms for many years, and they really lost a lot of their own identity. And they struggled with confidence in the workforce. They applied and became part of our team, and they really struggled. Am I worthy of this? Am I able to do this? This is a new task. It's a new type of business that I'm working with. Am I capable of doing this? And I've had the honor to help push them forward and say, yes, you can, and you will, and you'll do incredible. And you're going to fall, and we're going to pick you back up. And you're going to see this whole new identity of yourself. And seeing that door open in those aha moments with these moms has been by far my favorite part of my job. I thought it was going to be the marketing side, and I still love that. But man, helping these women and being there for them and providing that place for them to really fly has been such an honor to be part of.
Mm. Well, you talk about the aha moment. And for many of us, that's a mentor moment that may have really impacted you. Is there one particularly that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, there's a woman on my team. Her name is Haley. She's got 2 young kids, and we knew each other through a mutual connection. And she was a stay-at-home mom with her young kids. And I remember connecting with her online. And she was so seasoned when it came to social media. And I needed someone that knew these platforms. And I remember reaching out to her saying, hey, are you interested in a job? You can work from home. You can have flexibility. I know you've got young kids at home. Would you be interested? And I remember her doubting this opportunity. Like, I don't know, I've never done this before. And I'm like, well, you're already using the platforms for yourself and your personal page. Why don't you get paid for it? And I remember just encouraging her to want to take this opportunity. And she did. She took it and ran with it. And now she's on my leadership team. She runs some of our largest accounts. She has so much confidence in her profession. And it's allowed her to still have that life at home with her kids and her husband too. And her husband works really weird hours. He doesn't have a traditional 8 to 5. So this type of structure allows him to have family time during the week as well. So it's been fun. She's been one of many success stories that I've seen develop so much confidence and belief in themselves. And it's been really, really incredible to be part of it.
Well, and you to see it in other people and to encourage them, you have to see it in yourself as well. How are you this person today, right? Who is able to see people who need skills or need help or need ideas or support, really?
Yeah, good question. So I grew up in a pretty broken home, actually. My parents divorced when I was a young age. And my mom had to work. She had to work to provide for us. So I remember, and she was a hairdresser, so she couldn't work from home, right? But I remember being in those after school programs. I remember her dropping us off at school early. And I remember that stress and that struggle that she had. And so it almost had a fear in me that I wanted to make sure that if I didn't have to do that, I didn't want to do that to my kids. But I did want to provide for my family. I did want to work, and I want to show my kids the value of hard work as well. So that's been a lot in the back of my mind as I've evolved, is continuing to provide the space of working hard, but having that balance.
And also you give stability, right? I mean, I think for a lot of us, I know, growing up, my mother, same thing, divorced household. She also had mental health issues, and she wasn't able to really keep a job, quite frankly, not for very long, at least. And so that bouncing around, and then we were, do you remember the term latchkey kid? So we were that. And, it's like so like if, for instance, in my company, I'm interested in how can we provide stability for the people on my team, right? So they never have to, worry about losing jobs and bouncing around and things like that. And you've taken that, what you grew up with, and now you're making everyone's life better.
Yes. Yes. And it's, even during the pandemic, it's funny. We have clients that don't work remotely, and they were calling us in the beginning of the pandemic and asking us, how do you manage your team if they're not right next to you? Like, what do you do? How does this work? And now it's becoming more accessible and evolved to have kids in the background, right? But this has been a part of us since we were born as a company. So it's been fun to see businesses level up, if you will, and come alongside this remote life and this flexibility in their schedule. And, I feel I get the best out of my team because we are able to provide that flexibility with their work-life balance. And so that's definitely a treat. And it's been fun to even mentor other businesses on learning how to run this type of business.
It's evolving, isn't it? And we have to evolve with it, with the time and the space that we're in. I'm curious, you work with many types of businesses, and what are some of those common pain points? Because you mentioned they're coming to you asking, how do we lead? How do we operate remotely? But for the listeners out there that maybe are coming to you from a marketing standpoint, and they're wanting to build that digital presence and that digital brand, we have pain points, but then we also need solutions. What are you seeing most of?
Yeah. And this solution that we have is something that makes us a little more unique for our agency as well. A lot of digital agencies are focusing more on the ad strategy when it comes to social media, which, don't get me wrong, we do that too. These platforms are definitely pay to play. You've got to have some ad strategy running for these pages. But we really pride on ourselves on developing very humanized content, right? We want to make these brands very authentic online, very relatable online. Consumers are getting smarter and smarter every day, right? They can look through some of the stuff that's being posted if it's not authentic and it's not true to your brand. So that's really what we're honing in on, is that authentic content, humanizing it. And there's a lot of work and that goes into developing content. I know to the consumer, it may look like fun posts throughout the day, but developing that strategy and that piece of content that needs to be posted every single day, it takes a lot of creativity and it takes a lot of effort from my team. A majority of my team are content writers, and that's exactly what they do. They invest most of their time in storytelling online. So that's probably the biggest thing that we recommend and educate clients on, that when somebody goes to their social page, it's very clear who they are, what they do, and some personality shine through as well, because that's what's going to differentiate them from their competitors online.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you guys are spending a lot of time. You're right. It takes a lot of time to put content together. It's not to be underestimated. But how are you encouraging your team to come up with these innovative ideas and really continue to progress and maybe even be steps ahead of where this industry is going and where this footprint in marketing is going?
Yeah, great question. We thought this industry was really fast moving until TikTok came along. And now it's like beyond fast moving, right? When there is a trend or a buzz or something that's viral, you have to jump on that wagon when it's passing by, or else you will miss that opportunity. So we are very aware of that it's fast moving. We do a lot of research and we do a lot of sharing. So we do a team meeting every week, and someone on the team presents each week on an area that they have become an expert in. It might be influencer partnerships. It might be creative ways to storytell. It might be brand messaging. And so continuously educating our team on what is happening in this world of digital and making sure that they are applying that to their clients is super important, because we cannot get comfortable. And that's what I tell my team is, get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because as soon as you feel you've got a good handle on your content strategy or that specific client needs, there is a curveball. There is a new product or service available with these platforms, or there's a new viral trend that we want to make sure we jump on. So definitely staying on your toes is important with this industry.
Yeah, you have to have a good pair of running shoes, it sounds like, as well in this industry, I think.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Well, you have a team of all women, as we said, strong, dynamic. And how does that culture look currently, and how has it evolved? I mean, I know it started with that mom can work, have flexibility, and, really mentoring them to level themselves up. But how does your culture look today?
Yes, great question. And the number one thing I protect with my team is the culture. I would actually hire someone with less experience, but a better fit for our team any day than someone who's overqualified that may not be a good fit. We take a lot of time and pride into understanding the type of personalities on our team. We had everybody take Enneagram tests, and we dissected those and learned more about how they operate, what makes them tick, how they see success, how they are better managed. That's been a huge aha moment for me, is seeing all the different types of personalities that come out with this team. But what I love the most is we really are a family. Things happen in life, and we really come together to help one another. If someone's out of town, the team is more than happy and willing to cover for them. If someone's got a sick kiddo, they've got something they can't miss. If there's a requirement, they all jump in to help. And so with the mindset that if the client wins, we all win, it really takes down a lot of those boundaries and those challenges that you see in the workforce. And people know that you're going to get feedback from the team on some of the content that you write, but the feedback is to make you better, make us as an organization look better, and then make our client obviously shine. So it's been fun to teach that and mentor in that area to make sure that we don't do drama, right? We don't have time for that. We are in this together, and we're going to make sure that we rock it together. And so that's been fun. And it's been very embracing for our team. They love it. They've got friends. A lot of them get together outside of work, right? Because it's
like kind. Yeah.
Yes. And so it's really the relatability of the women on our team is very special.
Well, I'm thinking what a great recruiting ad for you. This is like, just listening to you, who wouldn't want to be a part of this team, right? It's contagious.
Yeah. And there's not a lot of, sadly, opportunities like this. I mean, I probably get 10 to 15 resumes a month, because women don't want to leave their kids at home. They don't want to put their kids in childcare if they don't need to, but they have that hunger, that thirst to do more. And so this really does allow for the best of both worlds. And I have an incredibly talented team, and I am constantly getting introduced to people that want to join the team because they want that type of community and that type of fulfillment that comes from a professional setting with the flexibility.
Flexibility is key. Ashley, I'm curious, what is the best investment you've made in yourself? Because you make a lot of investments in other people, right? I mean, everyone around you, you're investing your time, your resources. Your business sounds very personal to you even, but what is the best investment you've made in yourself?
I joined a organization a year and a half ago called EO, Entrepreneur Organization. And it is really more of a time commitment. And there's the chapter here in Arizona, there's 50 members, and we have meetings once a month, and the meetings are all you have a small group essentially, and they're all entrepreneurs. And then we do a learning day once a quarter, which is 8 hours of a deep dive into a specific topic. And that has completely transformed my business. I finally understood that I was working so much in my business that I wasn't working on my business. And I've never owned a business before. I've never ran a business. So being with people that are in the same boat as me, right? Or that are more advanced in their business ownership than me has been incredible gift. I have learned so much. I have tightened in my processes. I've tightened my financials. I now know the ins and outs of the business itself versus just the servicing side. And that really helped us elevate our brand, allow for more client work, allow it to bring on more team members. So that's been the biggest investment, really. And it's super important to me. So I stay very committed to that group because every time I show up, I get more and more tools in my tool belt to continue to help me be a better business owner.
That's probably business owner and outside of business too. I'm sure it's helped you in those ways as well.
Oh, tremendously. And they, there's no filters in this room, and they will tell you like it is. And I need that. There's been times I'm very much a type A business owner. And there's been times when they've said, hey, you're in the way. You need to move out of the way. Your team is able to do this. You are just, you're spending too much time in doing the job and not investing in the team for them to do the job. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. So I went back to the team. I redeveloped their leadership and what their roles are. And it has been a game changer. And they were right the whole time. But I needed someone else to tell me that. I needed someone else to tell me that I'm probably the reason why I'm holding people back. They are more than capable. They're extremely talented. But my type A of making sure that things are done right was getting that way. And so hearing that from someone who is a successful business owner was just a totally different mindset of acceptance than me telling myself that.
Or, yes, you're right. And I love that they're outside of your business as well. So it's not, it's someone unaffiliated. They have no other reason to tell you this than to help you, really. Yeah.
Everything that's said in that room stays in that room. We share a lot about our businesses and things that are going on, and knowing that we have that integrity in that room, right? It's important too. It allows people to be very raw and real and talk about the challenges or the successes or the wins. And we get to celebrate that together or work through those challenges together too.
You said something earlier where one of the favorite things about your business is really your people, right? is seeing them develop in your team and your culture. Isn't it interesting how you got into your business because you're a master at marketing, you have the total skill set. You wanted to help other clients with these things, but in actuality, it's not it doesn't have to be your favorite part of your business. I think there's such a misnomer of owning a business sometimes, or even your profession. You'll find the reason you got into it is not usually the reason you stay.
Yes. Yeah. I love watching my team rock the creativity. And man, their creative juices are flowing. Like they send me something and I'm like, wow, like that's impressive. Like, good job. Like, I don't even know if I would have done that great. Like,
I love that. Yeah. I mean, you want them to be much better than you, right? I mean, that's.
Yes. Maturity as a business owner, right? I started as an infant and I'm growing up with it. And so you're right. What's really important to you it's just shifted so much since I started.
I guess I have a question about for the listeners out there who maybe want to go and talk to their boss or their manager about workplace flexibility. What is the best way to approach that? Because not all business owners are like you, right? And so if you're finding yourself in a situation that you may want to stay where you are, but what do you suggest they do?
Yeah, I actually did this. Before I left my job, I tried to pitch that I should work from home. And honestly, them declining my offer was the best thing that could happen now in hindsight. But I essentially put together a proposal for them and said, here are the reasons why it would make more sense for me to work from home. These are the things that I can provide much more efficiently for you while still giving me the flexibility. So I almost put together a pros and cons list for working in the office, working from home, what the difference is, how I'm able to work from home, right? Back then, Zoom wasn't a thing, right? A lot of these different services that we daily basis weren't at your fingertips as quickly. So I think it's a much easier sell now, and a lot more companies are allowing more of even a hybrid approach. Like, okay, maybe you can't work fully from home, but maybe it's a couple days a week from home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it shouldn't have to be all or nothing either, especially if you love the company or you love the business. And some roles I understand are much harder to work remotely, right? You can't, there's just things, you can't be a server at home. You know, if you work in a restaurant, that's going to be a tough sell. They're not
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think really developing the pros and cons and having that really validating conversation with your manager on why it's important for you to work from home. Do you have young kids at home? Are you struggling mentally and you need, some more mental break at home? And would that help calm some of your nerves? I think it's a time for you to be a little bit more vulnerable with your management team and understanding what those needs are, because keeping that staff happy and keeping that workflow committed is going to be the best way to keep that bus moving forward successfully. And that's hard to do sometimes, because sometimes the business needs don't match up with the team needs. And so it could be a delicate balance.
Great advice. Great advice. Ashley Richards, where can everyone find you if they want to reach out to hear more about your business or your mentorship or even working for you? My goodness.
They can find me at esquaredmarketing.com, or they can follow me on Instagram, and my handle is Ashley Richards AZ, short for Arizona.
Oh, wonderful. Ashley, thank you so much for joining us today. Your insight into the workplace, into flexibility, and to seeing beyond yourself and seeing other people and how you can help them is so impressive.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode. I hope you'll walk away feeling inspired and are thinking of how a mentor moment can help you or someone you know. In case you haven't hit the follow button to subscribe to this show, please do so. And if you love the episode, I'd really appreciate a review. You see, this review helps Apple or Spotify or whatever platform you're listening to us on know that other women just like you want to learn about the show. And it'll help us spread the word. Let's connect on Instagram at Working Women Mentor or at Rani Alfers. You can find all episodes online at ranialfers.com/podcast and the ability to send an audiogram of your favorite mentor moments. And we respond to everyone. I truly can't wait to hear from you. Check back weekly for new episodes, and cheers until the next episode.